Your bar cart is missing something essential. Do you have the 12 bourbons every whiskey lover should own? Prepare to elevate your home bar game. We're ditching the idea that amazing bourbon has to cost a fortune. I've done the hard work of tasting numerous whiskeys, developing extensive tasting notes, searching for pricing, and researching the tasting notes of other well-informed whiskey experts. I've done this for you, my brothers and sisters. We're going on a flavor adventure to stock your home bar with 12 absolutely killer bourbons that won't max out your credit card. My name is Robert Moore. Welcome to School of Wine and Spirits. Hey folks, if you like this content, please give us a like, click the subscribe button, and hit the bell to get notified about new videos. Cheers! Get ready to transform your bar cart from basic to baller. We're talking smooth sips, complex flavors, and the perfect pours for any occasion. No dusty bottles collecting cobwebs here. Let me warn you in advance, some of these are my personal preferences. However, I've curated a list of bourbons recommended by the best in the business. This list has something for everybody. Let's break down each bourbon one sip at a time. Let's go to the report. Number 1, Evan Williams Bottled & Bond. This is your budget-friendly secret weapon. It's what I call gateway bourbon. Smooth and easy to drink with a kick of spice that keeps things interesting. Let's break it down. All of these bourbons are Kentucky straight bourbon whiskeys. A Kentucky bourbon must be produced in Kentucky and aged in Kentucky for at least 1 year. A straight bourbon must be aged for at least 2 years. All of the other bourbon requirements must be met to be a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. This one is produced by Heaven Hill Brands at the Heaven Hill Distillery, primarily at the Bernheim Distillery. At 100 proof, it is bottled at a minimum barrel age of 4 years since it's a bottled in bond. The Bottled in Bond Act of 1897 was the first Consumer Protection Act passed by the United States Congress. It was passed to improve the quality of bourbon and guarantee a high-quality product for consumers. The requirements include that the spirit must be aged for 4 years in a federally bonded warehouse. It must be distilled in one distilling season. January to June and July to December are the 2 distilling seasons. It must be distilled by a single distiller at a single distillery, and it's got to be bottled at 100 proof. There are a couple of other requirements, but these are the highlights. The reason for this law was to make high-quality spirits available to the public that could be trusted. Prior to the time it was passed, there was a shortage of bourbon. Rectifiers, folks that blended bourbon from different distilleries, would add various liquids to the whiskey, some of them a bit dodgy. The law provided an outlet for qualified high-quality product to be offered that the public could trust. Oh, and there was a tax benefit. The act allowed distilleries to delay paying taxes on the whiskey until it was aged. Previously, taxes were paid when the distillate came off the still. Follow the money and you will find the truth. Getting back to our first selection, the mash bill is 78% corn, 12% malted barley, and 10% rye. It's a medium amber color with reddish hues. The MSRP varies by market, but generally runs around $25 to $30. The nose delivers sweet caramel, vanilla, and light oak with hints of grain. The palate exhibits rich caramel, brown sugar, and toasted oak flavors with a touch of spice, revealing a medium-long finish with notes of oak, vanilla, and a gentle warmth. Overall, Evan Williams Bottled & Bond is solid. It's affordable, it delivers on the classic bourbon flavor profile, and it's a versatile whiskey that works well both neat and in cocktails. Coming in at number 2 on the bar cart is Wild Turkey 101. High proof, high energy. This one's perfect for cocktails with bold caramel and vanilla notes that hold their own against mixers. On to the breakdown. It's a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. It's produced by a Wild Turkey distillery at the Wild Turkey Distillery in Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. At 101 proof, Wild Turkey doesn't publish an age statement, but it is generally believed to be around 6 to 8 years old. The mash bill is 75% corn, 13% rye, and 12% malted barley. This bourbon is a deep amber color with reddish hues. The MSRP varies by market, but typically it's around $25 to $35 a bottle. The nose delivers rich caramel, vanilla, oak, and a hint of spice from the rye. The palate reveals bold flavors of caramel, oak, and spice with a touch of fruitiness. You'll experience a long and warm finish with notes of oak, vanilla, and lingering spice. Overall, Wild Turkey 101 is a classic American bourbon known for its bold flavor and high proof. It's a versatile whiskey that can be enjoyed neat, on the rocks, or in cocktails. This is always on my bar. Hey folks, thanks for watching. If you're looking to learn more about bourbon, wine, and other spirits, click the link below to gain access to my school community, where you can buy our aroma recognition training kits, buy my book, and learn how to amp up your appreciation of your favorite spirits and wines with a growing catalog of courses you can take with the associated ebooks. Click the link below and let's have some fun. Cheers. Coming in at number 3 is Four Roses Bourbon. A versatile all-star, this one's a mellow crowd pleaser with delicate floral notes and a gentle sweetness. The breakdown. This is a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. It's produced by Four Roses Distillery at the Four Roses Distillery in Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. At 90 proof, this one has no age statement, which means the youngest bourbon in the batch is at least 4 years old. This bourbon is actually a blend of two mash bills. One is 75% corn, 20% rye, and 5% malted barley. The other is 60% corn, 35% rye, and 5% malted barley. It's a medium amber color with an MSRP that varies by market, but generally comes in around 20 bucks. The nose displays floral notes, red apple, caramel, and vanilla, and a hint of spice. The palate delivers smooth and balanced flavors of red fruit, caramel, oak, and a gentle spice. It reveals a medium-long finish with notes of oak, vanilla, and a lingering sweetness. Overall, Four Roses Bourbon is a well-balanced and approachable whiskey that showcases the distillery's unique approach to bourbon making. It's known for its floral and fruity character, making it a popular choice for both beginners and experienced whiskey drinkers. Coming in at number 4 is Elijah Craig Small Batch. Sweet tooth satisfaction. Think maple syrup, brown sugar, and a hint of spicy cinnamon. Another Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. It's produced by Heaven Hill Brands at the Heaven Hill Distillery, primarily the Bernheim Distillery. At 94 proof, this bourbon does not have an age statement, but is typically blended from barrels around 8 to 12 years old. The mash bill is 78% corn, 12% barley, and 10% rye. The 8 to 12 years in the barrel yield a rich amber-colored spirit with reddish hues. At an MSRP that varies by market, it generally runs between $23 and $40 a bottle. The nose reveals sweet caramel, vanilla, oak, and a hint of spice with underlying notes of nuttiness. On the palate, you'll get rich and complex flavors of caramel, vanilla, oak, and spice with a touch of fruitiness. This one delivers a long, warm finish with notes of oak, vanilla, and lingering spice. Overall, Elijah Craig Small Batch is a well-respected bourbon, known for its balance of sweetness and spice. It's a versatile whiskey that can be enjoyed neat, on the rocks, or in cocktails. Coming in at number 5, the bold and oaky Knob Creek Small Batch. If you like your whiskey with a little muscle, this one delivers rich vanilla, caramel, and a long warming finish. Another Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. It's produced by Jim Beam Brands at the Jim Beam Distillery in Claremont, Kentucky. At 100 proof, while not explicitly stated, it's generally believed to be aged around 9 years. A mash bill of 75% corn, 13 to 15% rye, and 10 to 12% malted barley, the longer aged whiskey exhibits a deep amber color with reddish hues. The MSRP generally runs around $30 to $45 a bottle depending on your market. The nose reveals rich caramel, vanilla, oak, and pronounced rye spice aromas. The bold palate delivers flavors of caramel, oak, and rye with a touch of black pepper. As one would expect, the long and warm finish expresses notes of oak, vanilla, and lingering spice. Overall, Knob Creek Small Batch is a classic high-proof bourbon, known for its bold and complex flavor profile. It's a popular choice among bourbon enthusiasts and offers excellent value for its price point. Number 6 is Buffalo Trace. The classic for a reason. It's like the perfect pair of jeans. Always reliable, always comfortable, with a balanced flavor profile that's never boring. Another Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey is produced by Sazerac Company at the Buffalo Trace Distillery in Frankfort, Kentucky. At 90 proof, there's no age statement, but the barrels are typically dumped and blended at around 7 to 9 years. With a mash bill of 86% corn, 6% rye, and 8% malted barley, the barrel-aged whiskey delivers a medium amber color. At an MSRP around 25 to 40 bucks a bottle, depending on your market, it's a really reasonable alternative. The nose exhibits sweet caramel, vanilla, oak, and subtle notes of red fruit. The palate reveals balanced flavors of caramel, vanilla, oak, and gentle spice with a touch of grain. The medium-long finish expresses notes of oak, vanilla, and a lingering sweetness. Overall, Buffalo Trace is a classic American bourbon. Known for its balance and complexity, it's a versatile whiskey that can be enjoyed neat, on the rocks, or in cocktails. Let's move on to number 7, and that would be Maker's Mark, baby. What a smooth operator. Wheated bourbon means softer flavors with caramel, vanilla, and a touch of stone fruit. As expected, this is a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. Produced by Maker's Mark Distillery at the Maker's Mark Distillery in Laredo, Kentucky, not Texas, Kentucky. At 90 proof, this is another whiskey with no age statement, but it is typically dumped around 6 to 7 years in age. The mash bill is 70% corn, 16% wheat, and 14% malted barley. The longer aged whiskey exhibits a deep amber color. With an MSRP that varies by market, it generally runs around 30 to 40 bucks a bottle. The nose displays sweet vanilla, caramel, and red fruit aromas with a hint of oak. The palate is smooth and balanced with flavors of vanilla, caramel, and oak. A medium-long finish expresses notes of vanilla, oak, and a gentle sweetness. Overall, Maker's Mark is a classic American bourbon known for its smooth and approachable character. It's characterized by its signature red wax-dipped bottle and is a popular choice for both beginners and experienced whiskey drinkers. Coming in at number 8, my personal favorite, Old Forester Signature. It's a high-proof powerhouse. Spicy rye notes give it a kick alongside cinnamon, black pepper, and even a whisper of dark chocolate. No surprise, it's a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. It's produced by Brown-Forman Corporation at the Old Forester Distillery in Louisville, Kentucky. At 100 proof, it has no age statement, which means it is legally 4 years or older. The mash bill is 72% corn, 18% rye, and 10% malted barley, yielding a barrel-aged elixir with a rich amber color with reddish hues. With an MSRP that varies by market, it generally runs around 30 to 40 bucks a bottle. You can get a handle for a really reasonable price. It has a nose that exhibits caramel, vanilla, oak, and a noticeable rye spice with hints of brown sugar. On the palate, you'll discover bold flavors of caramel, oak, and rye with a touch of black pepper and a warming sensation. This produces a long and satisfying finish with notes of oak, vanilla, and lingering spice. Overall, Old Forester Signature is a classic high proof that offers a good balance of sweetness and spice. It's a solid choice for bourbon enthusiasts looking for a flavorful and affordable option. On to number 9. We have Russell Reserve Tenure. Aged to perfection, a decade in the barrel gives this one layers of toffee, dark fruit, and a hint of leather. Surprise, surprise, it's a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. It's produced by Wild Turkey at the Wild Turkey Distillery in Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. At 90 proof, I hope I don't need to tell you that it is Tenure whiskey. With a mash bill of 75% corn, 13% rye, and 12% malted barley, the aged bourbon yields a rich amber color with reddish hues. The MSRP typically lands at around 40 to 50 bucks a bottle, depending on your location. The nose delivers sweet caramel, vanilla, oak, and a noticeable rye spice with hints of red fruit. On the palate, you'll find balanced flavors of caramel, oak, rye, and a touch of black pepper. Also a warming sensation. This one delivers a long, satisfying finish with notes of oak, vanilla, and lingering spice. Overall, Russell's Reserve Tenure is a step up from the standard Wild Turkey 101, offering additional complexity and depth due to the extended aging. It's a well-rounded bourbon that showcases the distillery's signature high rye character while maintaining a smooth and enjoyable profile. Coming in at number 10 is Henry McKenna Single Barrel Bottle and Bond. This is another high rye gem. This one's a spice bomb with citrusy notes and a peppery finish. Another Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. This one is produced by Heaven Hill Brands at their Heaven Hill Distillery. Again, primarily sourced from Bernheim. Coming in at 100 proof as a bottle and bond, this one is aged 10 years, a rare aged bottle and bond bourbon. With a mash bill of 78% corn, 12% rye, and 10% malted barley, the aged liquid exhibits a deep amber color with reddish hues. The MSRP, which varies due to its popularity and scarcity, typically ranges from $50 to $100 or more. The nose reveals rich caramel, vanilla, oak, and pronounced rye spice, with hints of toasted nuts and brown sugar. The palate gives us a bold and complex flavor of caramel, oak, and rye with a warming spice, often with notes of dark fruit and pepper. This leads to a long and satisfying finish with lingering notes of oak, vanilla, and spice. Overall, Henry McKenna Single Barrel Bottle and Bond is highly regarded for its age, proof, and single barrel character. It offers a robust and complex flavor profile that showcases the best of what bottle and bond bourbon can be. Due to its limited availability and high demand, it's often considered a sought-after bottle for bourbon enthusiasts. Coming in at number 11, we have Evan Williams Single Barrel Vintage, the elegant cousin of the bottle and bond. Each bottle carries a unique vintage showcasing subtle variations in flavor. A Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, this one is produced by Heaven Hill Brands at the Heaven Hill Distillery, again, Bernheim. At a relatively low 86.6 proof, the high wines are typically aged for 7 to 8 years before bottling. This is a vintage dated bottle, something that is relatively rare and definitely at this price point. The mash bill is 78% corn, 10% rye, and 12% malted barley. The aged distillate shows a delicate amber gold color. With a surprisingly reasonable MSRP that typically runs around $30 to $80, depending on your market, it is hard to find a vintage bottle at this price level. The nose gives us dark caramel, sweet oak, and charred wood. On the palate, we find lush and spicy oak with honey, apple, and orange notes. The finish is long, graceful, and relaxed. Overall, Evan Williams Single Barrel Vintage offers a unique experience with each bottle as it's sourced from individual barrels. While lower in proof than many bourbons, it showcases a balance of sweetness and spice. It's a good entry point into the world of single barrel bourbons. Our final entry is Weller's Special Reserve, the elusive unicorn. This wheated bourbon might be harder to find, but it's worth the search. It's like Maker's Mark, but more mature with extra layers of caramel and honey. Yes, it's a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. It's produced by Sazerac Company at the Buffalo Trace Distillery in Frankfort, Kentucky. Coming in at a mid-level 90 proof, there's no age statement listed, but it typically is blended from 6 to 7 year bourbons. The mash bill is 72% corn, 18% wheat, and 10% malted barley, and the aged whiskey yields a burnt orange color. The MSRP is $25, but it typically retails for anywhere between $49 and $69 depending on your location. Due to high demand and scarcity, it may be higher priced in your area. The nose shows sweet vanilla, honey, and red apple with subtle oak notes. On the palate, it's smooth and creamy, with flavors of vanilla, caramel, and a touch of spice. It displays a medium-long finish with notes of oak, vanilla, and a gentle sweetness. Overall, Weller's Special Reserve is a highly sought-after wheated bourbon, known for its exceptional smoothness and balance. The absence of rye in the mash bill contributes to its soft and approachable character. While finding a bottle at MSRP is challenging, it's a bourbon many enthusiasts consider to be worth the pursuit. So there you have it, folks. Your bar cart is officially ready to party. Help a brother or sister out and let us know what your favorite bar cart bourbon is in the comments. Cheers to finding amazing bourbons without emptying your wallet. Remember, the best whiskey is the one you love. Red wax dipped bottle. Red wax dipped bottle. Red wax dipped bottle. Red wax dipped bottle. Why can't I say that?